Have you ever noticed something strange? We live in the most connected age in human history. You can send a message across the world in seconds. You can video call someone thousands of miles away. You can scroll through the lives of hundreds of people before breakfast. Yet millions of people feel more alone than ever before. And here's the uncomfortable question most people never ask. If loneliness is getting worse every year, then why aren't the companies that connect us trying harder to solve it? The answer may surprise you. What if loneliness isn't just a social problem? What if, for some businesses, loneliness is actually profitable? What if some of the world's largest companies are making billions of dollars from a society that feels increasingly isolated, disconnected, and emotionally hungry? This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's a story about incentives, human psychology, and an economy that has quietly discovered that loneliness can be monetized. By the end of this video, you may never look at your phone, your subscriptions, or your daily habits the same way again. For most of human history, loneliness was difficult to sustain. People lived close to family members. Communities were smaller. Neighbors knew each other. Daily life naturally forced people into social interaction. Whether you were working, shopping, worshiping, or simply walking through town, you were surrounded by familiar faces. Human connection wasn't something you had to schedule. It happened automatically. But over time, society changed. People moved away from their hometowns. Families became smaller. Work became more digital. Entertainment moved inside our homes. The modern world gave us more freedom, but it also removed many of the structures that once protected us from isolation. As loneliness increased, a new economic opportunity emerged. Think about what happens when someone feels lonely. They look for comfort. They look for distraction. They look for connection. And every one of those needs can be turned into a product. A lonely person may spend more time on social media. A lonely person may subscribe to more entertainment services. A lonely person may shop online more often. A lonely person may use dating apps, food delivery services, gaming platforms, streaming platforms, and countless other products designed to fill emotional gaps. None of these companies created loneliness, but many of them discovered that lonely people are highly engaged customers. Take social media as an example. Most platforms were originally marketed as tools for connection. The promise was simple: stay close to friends and family no matter where they are. But social media companies don't make money when you log off feeling fulfilled. They make money when you keep scrolling. Their business model depends on attention. The longer you stay, the more advertisements you see. The more advertisements you see, the more revenue they generate. This creates a powerful incentive. The goal is not necessarily to maximize your happiness. The goal is to maximize your engagement. And engagement often comes from emotional triggers: curiosity, comparison, fear, outrage, and sometimes loneliness itself. Imagine a person sitting alone at night. They open an app hoping to feel connected. Instead, they see carefully edited photos of vacations, relationships, achievements, and lifestyles that seem better than their own. Instead of feeling closer to others, they may feel more isolated. Yet they keep scrolling because the next post might provide the validation or connection they are seeking. Hours pass. The company profits. The loneliness remains. Dating apps represent another fascinating example. Dating apps solve a real problem. Millions of people genuinely meet partners through them. But think about the economics. If every user immediately found a perfect lifelong relationship, many of these businesses would lose customers. Again, this doesn't mean companies intentionally want people to stay lonely forever, but there is a tension between what's best for users and what maximizes long-term engagement. The longer people remain active on the platform, the more opportunities there are for subscriptions, premium features, boosts, advertisements, and additional revenue streams. The same pattern appears throughout modern life. Consider streaming services. Decades ago, people often watched television together. Today, Millions consume entertainment alone. Entire weekends can disappear while binge-watching shows. Entertainment itself is not the problem. The issue is that many companies have become extremely skilled at capturing attention during moments when people feel disconnected. Every additional hour spent watching content represents more subscription value, more retention, and more predictable revenue. Then there is online shopping. Emotional spending has become a massive industry. Many purchases have little to do with necessity. People buy products because they want excitement, comfort, or a temporary mood boost. Retailers understand this better than anyone. Personalized recommendations, flash sales, limited time offers, and targeted advertising are designed to encourage purchases during emotional moments. When people feel lonely, bored, or disconnected, buying something can create a short burst of satisfaction. The feeling doesn't last long, but the transaction has already happened. Food delivery services reveal another side of the story. In previous generations, meals were often social events. Families gathered around dinner tables. Friends met regularly. Communities built relationships through shared meals. Today, millions of people eat alone while watching a screen. Food delivery apps offer convenience, and there is nothing inherently wrong with that. But they also benefit from lifestyles that increasingly reduce face-to-face interaction. Perhaps the most surprising example is the rise of digital companionship. Artificial intelligence is making it possible for people to chat with virtual companions at any hour of the day. For some users, these systems provide comfort, emotional support, and conversation. For others, they raise difficult questions. What happens when technology becomes a substitute for human relationships? What happens when businesses discover that emotional companionship itself can be packaged, personalized, and sold? We may be entering a future where loneliness is not only monetized through products, but through relationships simulated by software. The economic incentives behind all of this are powerful. Investors reward growth. Growth often comes from engagement. Engagement often increases when people spend more time interacting with digital products. This creates a system where solving loneliness completely may not always align with maximizing profits. Again, that doesn't mean companies are secretly plotting to keep people isolated. Reality is more complicated. Businesses respond to incentives, and those incentives sometimes produce outcomes that were never intentionally designed. What makes this story even more interesting is that loneliness itself has become measurable. Researchers, governments, healthcare systems, and economists increasingly recognize loneliness as a serious issue. Studies have linked chronic loneliness to stress, anxiety, depression, and physical health challenges. As awareness grows, entire industries are emerging around the problem. Coaching services, wellness apps, mental health platforms, self-improvement programs, and digital communities all promise solutions. Some genuinely help people. Others simply capitalize on a growing market. In many ways, loneliness has become one of the defining economic opportunities of the 21st century. Businesses don't need everyone to feel isolated. They only need enough people searching for connection, validation, distraction, or comfort. Every time a social problem creates consumer demand, entrepreneurs rush to meet it. That is how markets work. The challenge is that not every solution addresses the root cause. Imagine a town where people stop talking to each other. Soon, companies appear offering apps, subscriptions, products, and services designed to help people cope with loneliness. Those businesses may succeed financially, but the original problem remains unresolved. Society begins treating symptoms instead of causes. The result is an economy that grows alongside the very issue it claims to address. This raises an uncomfortable question. If loneliness is profitable, who benefits most from reducing it? Strong friendships don't generate quarterly earnings reports. Close-knit communities aren't publicly traded corporations. Family dinners don't have shareholders. Many of the most effective solutions to loneliness happen outside traditional markets. They happen in neighborhoods, clubs, volunteer organizations, religious groups, sports teams, and genuine human relationships. Ironically, the things that help people feel connected often produce the least revenue. Yet there is hope hidden within this story. Understanding incentives gives people power. Once you recognize how attention is monetized, you can become more intentional about where you spend your time. Once you understand how emotional needs influence spending decisions, you can make choices more consciously. Once you see the difference between genuine connection and commercial engagement, you can begin prioritizing relationships that exist beyond screens and subscriptions. The future may bring even greater challenges. Artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and increasingly personalized algorithms could make digital experiences more compelling than ever. Companies will continue competing for attention because attention remains one of the world's most valuable resources. But human beings evolved for something deeper than endless engagement metrics. We evolved for belonging. We evolved for conversation. We evolved for real communities. So the next time you hear someone say that loneliness is merely a personal issue, remember that it is also an economic story. Entire industries now operate around the emotional needs of millions of people. Some provide genuine value. Some offer temporary relief. Some profit enormously from patterns they did not create but have learned to monetize. The business of loneliness is not about a secret group of corporations controlling society. It is about a marketplace that has discovered something incredibly valuable. People will spend money searching for connection, and perhaps that leads to the biggest question of all. In a world where billions of dollars are earned from keeping us engaged, distracted, entertained, and emotionally occupied, who is investing in helping us feel truly connected? The answer to that question may determine not only the future of business, but the future of society itself. Because while companies can sell convenience, content, and digital interaction, there is one thing they can never fully manufacture: genuine human connection. And in an age where loneliness has become a business, that may be the most valuable asset of all.